Hey everyone, my name is Igor from Gravity Engraving, the channel for laser machines and markers. Please don't mind the Galvo head. Today we'll be working in standard 2D mode. We won't be using 3D mode today. So this channel is about laser machines and markers. To buy equipment, I'll leave the phone numbers down there in the video description. Click Show More to see all the contact numbers. It's best to message on WhatsApp or Telegram. If needed, you can use VK or Contact Max. Again, the numbers are right down here. Just click Show More to access all the info. So, today's topic is a bit unusual. We'll be looking at things like color interference and holograms. We'll do some light guilloche test and set up the machine. This was done with a picosecond laser, so it's very beautiful. It shimmers with depth from every angle. It's really, really cool. On the picosecond laser channel, I don't have much information yet. I'll post more later. For now, let's peel the protective film off this metal, off the first plate and the second one. Let's get these plates ready for work, and we'll run a preliminary test like this. I might share the parameters publicly today. We're using the jpt60m7 machine with an f1.63 lens. To buy machines, supplies, lenses, or controllers like EzCad 2.0 or 3.0, or even metal blanks, tags, pens, or chains, anything you need. Again, the numbers are in the description. WhatsApp is preferred. Alright, let's go. Again, we're using the GPT60M7. Ignore the EzCad 3.0. These settings also work for 2.0. So we're ready to work. Let's start testing and engraving on stainless steel. It's 304 grade. Then we'll move on to an A4 sheet. Okay, let's check the appearance. It looks like the best option here is the second one from the bottom center. It's very bright, saturated, shimmers well, and is very stable. The other squares are also more or less suitable, but I like these two at the top the most. They have an interesting shimmer at certain angles, but we'll test both of them on this metal piece. We're using a template for deep filling and deep engraving. One of our subscribers and viewers provided it to us. So let's run the test and see the result. I'm not sure how fast it'll be. The template is quite large, so we'll scale it down, trim the excess, and start engraving. As a result of our work, we get this plate where you can barely see anything. Why is that? It's directly related to the engraving density we used in our hexagons. Here, we're using a grid formed by lines and vectors. It looks beautiful, cool, and deep, but we aren't getting the colors or the color dispersion we need. Actually, this turned out to be quite interesting. It's a bit hard to see on camera, by the way, but in theory, it's right here, right in this spot. So, like this, you can catch it, and basically that's the color being shown. Now we'll change the fill density and adjust the structure of these layouts a bit. We'll test everything again on A4 format, so we don't waste any more time or our machine's resources. We'll test it directly on the material we need to use for this specific project. Here, we're getting a completely different effect because the metal quality is different and the conditions vary, like temperature, expansion, and so on. The holographic part in these cubes looks nice, just like I chose earlier, but the image itself didn't work for some reason. There's a reason for that. Most likely the metal is slightly bent, so the focal length is fluctuating just a little bit. I'm not going to retest these images, it's just too long and tedious. So we'll do a couple more tests on other plates, and then move on to various holographic effects, like guilloche with a twisted image. And we'll see what we get here as well. Now we're getting to the truth. Here we're getting that color interference effect. So we can see everything looks cool, everything's good. We've set the parameters and ran a test with this unusual little egg. Everything's cool. Let's look at an alternative version. This one was made using a picosecond laser. How can I show you? I don't have enough space here. Let's zoom out a little bit. So this was the pick-a-second one, but you need the right viewing angle to see it all clearly and nicely. Basically, the pick-a-second one gets more color interference than the 67 meters, but in theory, everything works here too, and it's very stable. This one didn't work because the power setting was wrong, but this one turned out perfectly, and some. Now let's move on to our guilloches. This is going to be the most interesting part that we'll be engraving here. The result of our work is another test table where we're setting the line thickness parameters. Basically, we won't see anything here right now. You'd need to look under a microscope. And based on certain parameters and line width characteristics, we set up our engraving, specifically for the guilloche, and then repeat the process on clean metal. And now it's time to draw some final conclusions. Our goal today was to create a guilloche and run color interference tests to get that color shift effect, so we made these tables. Both here and in another spot, I ran line tests and got certain results, which led me to create, well, this. Well, a guilloche-like pattern. Let me try to zoom in now to show it to you more clearly. It all looks nice, but you'll ask again, where's the guilloche? Shouldn't there be iridescent lines, transitions, patterns, guys? Well, if we do this in a laser format, then we'll get a pattern like this, which is visually clear, interesting, all cool and great, except for one thing, it's completely useless. So I made a version with my own settings, played around with the sizes a bit to get this awesome result. Everything shimmers so coolly. The design, the patterns, and it's quite hard to replicate. Let's flip our workpiece over and look at the other side of our project. We use the parameters that were achieved while engraving this table. It's a similar situation. Everything looks very cool. Even in a normal direct view, it shimmers, has contours and volume, so basically it has everything. I can't lift it higher, my scanner's in the way. So as a metallic sheen, it looks very cool. From an interference standpoint, it's also present here. It's clearly visible at certain angles. A smaller pattern gives the exact same result. So if we're talking about metallic luster, it's there at various tilts and angles, and it all works out. And the smallest little thing turned out to be 13 millimeters in size. It looks cool too. Everything is very cool and very good. This was Igor from the Gravity Engraving channel, a channel about laser machines and markers. For equipment purchase inquiries, I'll leave the phone number in the description. Message me on WhatsApp or Telegram. Actually, regarding parameters, we select frequency ranges and power. We usually work at low speeds, choosing the frequency based on the machine type, and we also select the Q pulse to match the rating of this equipment. The hatch density in such cases usually averages from 0.02 millimeters to 0.05 millimeters, depending on, again, the hatch density. Depending on the design, structure, pattern, basically many factors. Today we ran a lot of tests on stainless steel. About 5 hours were spent on all these experiments, adjustments, and tests. We even used gas here today. You won't guess where the gas was used. Here's a hint, a very clean engraving was achieved using inert gas, which is very cool, just wonderful. In these cases, I didn't use gas. We specifically needed to get oxidation in the air to achieve this iridescent color. Just as we chose our workpiece here and the parameters we previously set in the test table. Anyway, as always, give it a thumbs up. Tests on the 60M7 machine. Don't look at its head, and don't look at the software either. All of this can be done on EzCad 2.0 with the standard Cena Galvo SG7110 and classic f1.63 lenses with a 112 by 112 working field. Actually, I'll run the same tests on the GPT50LP and show it in more detail in the future. About what you can achieve working with these machines. On metal marking, on stainless steel marking, how to get high volumes with minimal effort and energy, and basically how to do 3D stuff, it's all on the channel, and I'll also film a separate video about it. From you, as always, a thumbs up. Write in the comments what else you'd be interested in seeing on my channel. We'll definitely do it, we'll film a video, but if I'm in the mood, that's one. If I have free time, that's two, obviously. And, well, depending on the availability of certain equipment. That's it, guys. Wish you all the best, lots of cash, and bye-bye.